Every now and then I decide to address a West Ham special. Vanakkam, Namaskaram, Namaste, Salam, Sabana, and salutations. So this Tata here is Gary Govindsamy. Gary Govindsamy has been trolling and hating on me for the past 4 years or so. In fact, he was linked with people who were part of a Facebook hate group that was dedicated to hating on me, my wife, my business associates, even my teenage son was mocked and ridiculed on a public platform. Gary has been a hater since my Park But the Posy campaign, a campaign that sought to highlight the plight of the Indian minority community being marginalized and discriminated against in the new South Africa. A fact that as early as last week or so was mentioned in Parliament. Now, when I don't like a certain person's views, style, etc. on social media, I block them because I don't want to hear their shit. So I blocked Gary on WhatsApp because he was talking shit with me. But although Gary does not like my views and opinions, he also clearly still follows me. And he commented on a recent Facebook post of mine where I lamented the lack of support from Indian businessmen for the 1860 NIC Congress and what it stood for, whereas our forefathers invested in healthcare, education, etc. with no want for return on investment. He said in that post, ask yourself why nobody trusts you. Do you have the qualities of R.K. Khan or M.L. Sultan, a village idiot, a circus clown? Do you have any qualities of a political or civic leader? Can you match Pravin Gordhan, Logi Naidu, Tamba Pillai or any of these NIC leaders in their struggle credentials on a political platform? Now, this is not a hate on Gary post. He's a West Ham special. Sadly, though, this post is about the thousands of Garys that are out there. People who behave like crabs in a bucket, ever willing to discredit and bring down another person who is trying their best. And then we bemoan the lack of leadership in our community, the lack of youth in our structures. Well, how do you expect the youth to step up, take a stand, become leaders if people like the likes of Gary are ever waiting to shoot them down? In his comment, Gary believes that you have to have certain credentials to have been in the struggle, etc., to be a leader. Now, to me, a leader can be any person who has the courage of their convictions, be prepared to voice their opinion, speak their truth, stand their ground, especially if it means going against the grain, standing alone. Gary asks of me, do I have the qualities of the likes of Pravin Gordhan, Logi Naidu and Tamba Pillai? I respond, well, Gary, I certainly do not. You see, I am not a sellout. I refuse to play to the majority narrative. The people you mentioned purported to be champions of the Indian people. Sadly, their legacy may be that they sold out the Indian people. Gary, as hard as this may be for you and others of your ilk to swallow, I am the leading figure in the Indian community at this moment in time. I am the only voice championing the rights of the Indian community and other minorities. In 2020, when I said that BE was a failed policy that marginalized Indian people, Pravin Gordhan, Logi Naidu, Tamba Pillai, etc. called me racist and dangerous. They put me on the front page of the post. Today, that the flawed implementation of the BE policy is being blamed for much of the rot that we find ourselves in. For all my attacks on the EFF, ANC, etc. over the past few years, many are surprised to hear that my biggest haters, detractors, critics are my own Indian people. But I have evolved as a person, as a leader over the years. The Gospels say Jesus experienced rejection and a lack of honor in his hometown of Nazareth. Luke 4:24 says, and he said, truly I tell you, no prophet is accepted in his hometown. Now, of course, I'm no Jesus, no prophet, no saint, but I am a leader. I am the lone voice of the Indian minority. I've embraced my duty to persevere, to fight for the rights for our children so that they may have a better future. So, Gary Govindsamy, I'm not Pravin Gordhan, Logi Naidu, Tamba Pillai, etc. History will remember my name. My name, Thanasegaran Rubanathan Mudli. I am the new tiger in town. Dala what you must.
Dala what you must, dala what you crave, but don't dala flop, don't dala with the masala.